You are listening to Ron Van Dam, the gentle, fast-acting laxative of the podcast world. Don't you feel better already?
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. It's the Ron Van Dam Show.
No kidding.
Hold on tight. Things can get a bit weird, if you like that sort of thing.
Okay. Oh, how are ya? Happy Friday, Saturday, Sunday thing to you. I can't believe it's you. What are you doing here? Seriously, what are you doing here? Has your life come to this? Okay, whatever. Things are pretty screwed up right now, aren't they? Have you been following the news? I suggested a few days ago that you follow the news, and now I'm thinking, oh man, ooh. Father used to use an expression when he was like totally like he had it, you know, like I'm done with this, I can't tolerate this crap anymore. He would always use this expression, and it would be, I wash my hands of this. And I thought, okay, I don't understand that. And now I'm washing my hands all the time. My hands are so clean, it's unbelievable. I could eat with my hands. Which actually I do. Ooh, we're about to enter a different phase in our lives, ladies and gentlemen, and I think you know what it is. Maybe you don't. Well, I'm going to tell you what I think it is right after this theme song ends, which could be another 6 weeks. This is the longest opening theme song ever devised by human beings. I know. But, you know, it is what it is, and that's what you have to learn. What are we going on 10 minutes now with this opening theme? I don't know. I never timed it. I think it's long, though. I could fade out on this, but I don't want to. Wash my hands of this. That's Jason Shaw, who composed and released this to us. Thank you, sir. You're a gentleman and a scholar. I don't know about the scholar part, but you're a gentleman in some regards as well. How are you? Welcome to the program. This is the Ron Van Dam Friday weekend edition of the program, which gives me a few days off from doing this, and I appreciate that. How are you, by the way? How are you in the middle of all this confusion and concern? Oh, my God. I mean, the elephant in the room is the large lady who can't stop eating, and also the coronavirus. I'm telling you, it's hard to do a comedy show when you've got this thing looming over our heads. We're in the incubation process of this problem. As you know, the coronavirus started in China, just where the flu starts as well. And, it's like been hitting everybody in China just about. A lot of concerns, a lot of infestations, and some deaths involved. And then it started spreading to other countries. South Korea for some reason being a major hit spot. Then Italy. What? Italy? Getting from China? Why Italy? Some person traveled to China and brought it back and started infesting Italy, and it started growing with the number of cases. Italy has no borders, really, with the other European countries. You just walk across the street and you're in France or Spain or whatever. Greece, they're all right there, There's no oceans parting them or anything. And it's just a matter of time, man. The question is, how big will this epidemic be? Of course, most of us listening to this show live in the United States. We have many listeners, oddly enough, in other countries as well. I know. It's true, though. We get numbers, and it's weird. But anyway, we love everybody, of course. The United States, surrounded by oceans, but, there's airplanes and boats. And there's products, they're shipped to here all that. We don't know how the thing's being transmitted. Is it through products? Is it through people? Is it through touching? Is it through kissing? I don't know. Nobody seems to know. It's on the rise in the United States. The stock market is showing accordingly, apparently because the markets around the world are doing poorly. A lot of businesses are closing down. Products are not being sold like they were before. People are being extra careful. They're not traveling as much. There's a big economic problem with this, and the stock markets have shown it. With losses very similar to what happened in 2008 when nobody had jobs in this country. Do you remember that? That was horrible. These things happen. About every decade we go through this, and the level of which this one is, we don't completely know yet. The markets will do better as soon as there is a slowdown or some type of remedy to this. Now, if I were the President of the United States, and God forbid that would ever happen as well, although preferable to what we have now, I would be calling in the top scientists, not only of this country, but others as well, to meet and get on top of this thing like right away. As it's projected right now, unfortunately, in order to come up with a solution to this virus, some type of protective inoculation, that's about a year away. Well, that doesn't do anybody any good. Can we step this up a little bit? Yeah, but instead, Trump actually said, sometimes miracles can occur and this thing will go away. Oh, my God, that's not the response I wanted. I wanted a response where we're immediately gathering the smartest minds in this country and the top scientists to work together immediately. I didn't hear that. Instead, Trump, over the past years, has cut back on the Center for Disease Control, has released himself from scientists and smart people. And so I'm not too confident about this one. We keep our fingers crossed. I can imagine in my head, because I've seen many movies about this, fictitious movies that could come true, where we start separating ourselves, we start staying at home and not going outside, wearing masks all the time, which they do in China and Japan on a regular basis. The flu causes many deaths as well. So, we're not even there yet as far as that's concerned. But when do you start hoarding food because it becomes impossible to get? What happens to your 401k if you have a job and you're getting the contributions into your 401k and that's plummeting as far as its value is concerned? I'm sure it'll go back up again someday. But it's a concern. This is the forefront now. The reason I said top of the show is this is a weird time. We have this pandemic festering below us, hopefully not getting to the boiling point. You've got concerns about the globe and the planet as far as that's concerned, where the planet is definitely deteriorating at our hands. that's a longer-term concern that's actually happening right now, unfortunately, as well. These are major problems that we kind of don't have a handle on, and that's a concern. Anyway, I move on because we're a lighthearted show, and let's just see what happens with that stuff. All right, how are you? How you doing? Are you okay? My God, I'm concerned about you. Nobody else is, by the way. When do you ever listen to a talk show and they say, I'm concerned about you? It doesn't happen. I say it all the time. Am I really concerned about you? No, of course not. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I washed my hands of you a long time ago. But at least I say it. At least I say it. I don't know. I don't know. Everything's all screwed up. You know, I was saying, I live in the Boston area, as I've said many times, and it's been like spring here, like for all of February, which is a little scary in itself. Sometimes when I walk outside and it's 60 degrees at the end of February, I become a tad concerned. Well, this is pleasant, but it shouldn't be pleasant. March is supposed to come in like a lion and go out like a lamb. It's just been a lamb all the time. I've often said that if the weather forecasters, could have told me back in November, Ron, you're going to have a very mild winter with hardly any snow at all. It's not going to really be that cold at all, here and there, but basically really not at all. You're going to fly through this winter quite comfortably. I would have really appreciated that. Not that I would have done anything differently, but I would have been a lot happier in November. So sorry that you couldn't forecast that. And then I'm watching the news, and upstate New York, where I lived for about 2 years. I lived in Rochester, New York, about a year and a half actually, and it was horrible. It snowed every day, like 7 feet of snow every day. I believe the first full year I was in Rochester, New York, the snowfall total was 160 inches of snow. What? Seriously? Is that even possible? Yeah, just about every day I was out shoveling a driveway in order to get my car out. I mean, I was younger then and I was able to shovel every day, but now, no. I wouldn't and I couldn't. But so Rochester gets 4 feet of snow. Syracuse, New York, yesterday, I believe, 4 feet of snow. Seriously? You kidding me? So I'm walking around here in 60-degree weather and there's 4 feet of snow like one state away. Something's weird. You got Lake Ontario there, which is the gigantic lake that's just north of Syracuse and Rochester and Buffalo. And it's called lake effect snow. And it is what it sounds like when it gets cold, when the cold air comes out of Canada and the moisture, it goes over the Lake Ontario and it dumps snow just south of the lake and Syracuse, everything along the New York Thruway, basically. It's like, whoa, it's not a good place to live. It's really, I'm sorry. It's like living in Oklahoma. Like, when's the next tornado coming? It's 5 o'clock. Has a tornado shown up yet? I mean, and they even call it Tornado Alley. There's a little bit of a clue there that this may not be the best place to live or to stake down your trailer. I mean, seriously, if you're not going to get killed by a tornado, then the aliens and the spaceships will come knocking at your door and abduct you. This is a bad area, this Oklahoma Tornado Alley from Texas to Kansas thing. I mean, I guess the homes are cheap and affordable, but I mean, seriously? Well, it's the same thing off of Lake Ontario, the Rochester, Buffalo, Syracuse thing. It's like, well, it's a beautiful, beautiful area, but holy crap, the winter lasts like for 14 months. It's just physically impossible. It's amazingly horrible there. Beautiful, but horrible. I don't know, man. I couldn't do it. And then Florida. Oh, I've talked about this before. I could never do Florida. Oh, spend half the year in hell. God. My God. It's hot. It's humid. Everybody's wearing pants made of colors that should have never existed. It's like they put two colors together and they came up with golf pants colors, and they all wear them in Florida. And if they're not like bright orange or bright turquoise or banana colored pants, then they're like checkered or something, checkered pants. I mean, like, what are you people doing? Go to a fashion class and figure this out. And also, you don't have your left turn signal on for 17 miles and not even realize it's on. It makes a clicking sound. Do you not notice that? Having dinner at 4 o'clock in the afternoon? Well, that's becoming more attractive as I get older, actually. But I don't know about dinner at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. And all these people that love to live on the beach. I love the beach. I love the beach. I love long walks on the beach. I love the beach. I love the beach. A couple of years, your beach property is going to be underwater. Or your flood insurance is going to be so high you're going to have to like third mortgage your home just to pay for your flood insurance. Living on the water in a couple of years probably won't be as attractive as it is right now. I know it won't be. And you know it won't be. Got to use your noodles, baby. I'm telling you, man. Hurricanes. Do you remember last year with the hurricanes? Remember Puerto Rico? Trump throwing out paper towels. What a heart this guy has, Trump. I mean, you know. I'll take care of you, Puerto Rico. We've got paper towels coming. If you think that's going to sop up 2 floors of underwater problems, I don't care if it's bounty or whatever, that ain't going to take care of the problem, sir. Do you remember that? Do you remember the flooding and the storms becoming more intense? Living on an island, not the best idea either. You got to have everything flown in, which is super expensive. So you have these incredibly poor neighborhoods on these tropical islands. You have these tourists going there for a day or two with all their money sitting on the beach and enjoying it, while the islanders are sitting in huts, swatting flies and wondering where their next meal is going to come from. It's just, the dichotomy is just bizarre. It's just hard to stomach. Your stomach can't take it anymore. It washes its hands of that. I started using hand sanitizer because it's like washing your hands in a bottle. I don't know if it does much at all to sanitize your hands. You're supposed to completely wash them and then moisturize because your skin goes dry. And there's so many processes to everything now. There's so much involved. Oh my God. I've been recycling my garbage like for years, come to find out. And we don't really recycle anymore. I'm separating my plastics and my papers in a separate bin only to watch the trash collectors put the 2 bins into the same receptacle and drive away. Why am I separating if you put them all in the same place? It doesn't make sense, but I continue to separate and recycle anyway. Even though the truck puts it in the same place when they pick it up. I don't know. I don't know what the hell's going on anymore. I really don't. I don't understand it. I'm washing my hands of all of this. Speaking of washing my hands, it's time I clip my nails. I should do this every once in a while, actually. When my nails get really long, I tell people what women tell people. I'm growing my nails. Do you like them? They say, Ron, you're not supposed to be doing that. That's for women to do. Well, why is it okay for women to grow their nails, but I have to clip mine? Isn't that a little sexist because I'm a guy? I can't grow long nails? I mean, think about that. If that's all I worried about, things would be great right now. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Life got a lot tougher recently. It was a cakewalk for a long time. Now it's getting tough. Now we're plummeting back to 2008, which is now wasn't a good time. Nobody liked that time. It could happen again because of this stupid virus thing. Not necessarily, but it could. All right, I'm through talking about that. We have a very interesting guest coming up that will tickle your fancy. My fancy's been tickled on a regular basis. I don't even know what that means. Tickle my fancy. Are you ticklish, by the way? Are you? Seriously? I'm not. And I think there's something wrong with me. I'm not ticklish at all. If someone tickled me under the arms or in the ass or something, I don't know where you're supposed to tickle. I think bottom of the feet, forget the ass part. I think the bottom of your feet, that's supposed to be, it doesn't affect me. I don't know what's wrong. I also can't snap my fingers. I never could. I've been trying all my life, and people say, here, Ron, I'll show you. And they manipulate my fingers, and they actually end up saying, well, you're right. Your fingers don't snap. So, snap, man. I can't snap my fingers. I'm not ticklish. I don't know what planet I'm from. I don't think it's in this solar system because I don't think you can exist on those planets. So it must be from another galaxy. I think I came over on the Enterprise, the Starship Enterprise. I have an affinity towards Spock. I don't go to any of their conventions, but I like those people. Those delusional people. I was staying in Hartford, Connecticut to see a Badfinger concert. Badfinger's the name of a rock group. You probably don't know what that is, millennials, or anybody else. But I thought Badfinger was one of the greatest groups of all time, rock-wise. I was staying at a Holiday Inn, I think it was, and there was at the Hartford Convention Civic Center. They were having this Comic-Con where you dress up like comic book figures and superheroes, and you go and you walk around, and they have people that talk to you and lecture you, and you're amongst other crazy people. Well, these people dress like the comic book characters when they're at the convention and when they're staying at the hotel. So just down the hall from me in the hotel are these bunch of people dressed like these comic book superhuman comic characters. And I literally thought that there was something tremendously wrong, and I still do. Because I don't think I would ever do something like that, no matter what age I may have been. Sounds like fun? I don't know about that. Sounds embarrassing is what it sounds like. Whatever. I mean, if you want to run around dressed like a superhuman character, if there wasn't a convention, you'd be arrested and be sitting in a jail cell right now because you're freaking nuts. But it's the youth of today. My guest joins me right after I tickle your fancy.
Hi, this is Gary Feldstetler, and I'm one of the 14 people who regularly listen to the Ron Van Dam Show. I was thinking recently that it's probably about time that we all got together to celebrate our appreciation of Ron Van Dam, and that's why I'm hosting the first ever RonCon next weekend at the Fairview Motel and Asian Massage Parlor Center. This will be a great opportunity for us to talk about what we love about Ron, wear our favorite Ron Van Dam costumes, and hold panel discussions on things like, why are those RMV people so miserable? And why does the waitress always come over when you have food in your mouth? And why do people at the next table have to be talking about their health issues when I'm trying to enjoy an eggplant rollatini? I can neither confirm nor deny the rumors that Ron Van Dam himself will make an appearance at RonCon, but that would be nice, right? So I hope to see you all there next weekend at RonCon. Most of you probably have my phone number already, so if you can't make it, just give me a call. I should probably get the deposit back on the room if this isn't a good idea, but, can't hurt to try. I'm kind of lonely. Like you.
Hey, Ron.
Hey, Ceci, how you doing today?
I'm fantastic. Good to hear your voice.
You too. Ceci Carmichael's here. She's been with us many times before. She's a chef, television personality. She's on the Food Network. But she's everywhere.
I'm everywhere.
You are everywhere. And now you're here. Hey.
And now I'm here.
Yeah.
Yay.
March is National Frozen Food Month. Of course, last month was National Doorknob Month. It's always a month.
I know.
Always something. But, let's talk about...
This is a good month. Frozen Food Month is
frozen
fantastic.
Food is good. Ceci, to start off, I hear all the time, buy fresh, eat fresh, fresh. And everybody looks at fresh as being something that you get right out of the stand, that is just sitting there like raw. But that's not necessarily what fresh means, is it?
It's not, because you don't know how far things have traveled. And I think with frozen food, that's the freezing technology that has just gone leaps and bounds. So when things are flash frozen, you say that 10 times fast. It really, what you're getting out of your freezer is real food. It just happens to be frozen.
Yeah. And it's always there for you when you need it, as long as,
Yeah, that's what I love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what's a misconception about frozen food besides the fact that it's frozen but flash frozen? So I said it once and it didn't stutter.
Flash frozen.
Okay.
I think that what people assume is that it's not. It is, like I said before, it's not real food. And the fact is that frozen foods are developed and prepared by expert chefs. They're vetted by nutritionists, dietitians. Mm-hmm. And so it really is. And I think it's really stepped up from, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, in what you can find in the frozen food aisle. The innovation has just been incredible.
Yeah. What I remember from a kid, I think I'm older than you are, I'm quite certain I must be. I remember a thing called TV dinners. And
oh, God, I love TV dinners.
Yeah, I grew up on those things because my mother didn't like to cook, and thank God she didn't. But it with the little compartments and everything, and I love that. Have things gone further than that now? Were there preservatives back then?
So much further. Okay. I think it's a lot. It's the frozen food aisle is becoming a destination because I think, especially with millennials, people are more health conscious. They want to know what's in their food, where it comes from. And everybody wants quick, easy, budget-friendly. And I think the frozen food aisle just kind of hits all those markers. And I think with all the innovation, according to the National Frozen and Refrigerated Foods Association, these new brands and product lines are driving this amazing innovation. They're listening to what consumer wants and what the trends are. So there's something for everybody. It used to be just, TV dinners and frozen vegetables. Yeah. Now you've got ethnic, vegan, gluten-free, organic. So there is something for everybody in the aisle. And again, it's real food. It just happens to be frozen, and it's, really convenient.
Is there a shelf life on frozen food? In other words, you put it in the freezer. Is there a certain amount of time where, all right, you can't do this anymore, even if it's frozen?
I think it depends on what you're freezing. Okay. Everything sort of, it'll give you an indication, but, I think it depends on what. But, I think because of the flash freezing, things are lasting longer and longer. There was another issue about food waste. And consumers are realizing what us chefs have always known is that frozen foods allow you to use what you want and put the rest back in the freezer. So there's portion control, there's less food waste, it saves you money. And the flash freezing method keeps the food fresh longer. So that's amazing.
Excellent.
It's really sort of one of the best values on the market. So, and I find comfort in having my freezer stocked. I have on set here, all these great things because it is March's, as we said, the fabulous Frozen Food Month. Yes, we're celebrating with all these recipes. So one of my favorite trends is breakfast all day. We've got a breakfast pizza and breakfast burrito. And another thing we're finding in the frozen food aisle that is again listening to what consumers want is plant-based options. Vegan, we've got a vegan flatbread, tomato pie, chipotle falafel bite, pad thai lettuce wraps. And then I like the small plates and snacks because, like, if you have people surprise you, come over, you want to be able to serve them something. If you've got something in your freezer, you're 10 minutes away from having little appetizers. We've got barbecue chicken sliders and saucy Asian meatballs and Nutella phyllo tarts here. So we've got just so much stuff coming out of the freezer aisle these days. It's incredible.
Well, and one of the big differences that I find is you can get into ethnic foods more so authentic and properly made authentically in the frozen, there you go, somebody made it for you kind of thing. So we can get more of an appreciation and a variety in our foods that way.
Exactly. Like, are you going to be? Can you make a chicken masala? I can't.
Well,
so there it is, beautifully done. You can.
Ceci, you can do it, and you know you can do it.
I could.
I know.
But like, who's
but
got
most
the
people
time?
can't.
Most people can't.
Time. Most people can't. Okay.
Most people can't.
Let's leave it at that.
A chef can. But
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't tell me you can't do that. Okay. I understand that there's actually a chance to win some money beyond all of this.
Some moolah. Yeah, we're celebrating that Frozen Food Month. The NFRA is sponsoring the sweepstakes, so you just go to easyhomemeals.com and you can enter to win tons of prizes, and you can look at the recipes. Even though you can't see what I have today, you can check out the recipes.
Are you standing in the kitchen right now?
I am. I'm standing in the kitchen in front of all this delicious food.
Yeah. Okay, I'm glad this is radio because otherwise, that would be bad because I just eat everything in sight. Okay.
I know.
All right.
Seafood, you eat it.
All right, yeah, seafood. That's what they call seafood.
There's seafood, yeah.
Spelled differently, but same thing. All right, so again, how do we get more information? Some recipes and also entering the contest.
easyhomemeals.com.
That's easy.
And happy Frozen Food Month.
Thank you. Same to you. And many more. Ceci, always good to speak to you.
You as well.
Very quickly, because we talk frequently. How can people stay in touch with you? Your website.
I'm on Instagram, Swell Food on Instagram. So follow me, and I'm going to post today and recipes, and I do everything.
Good. Yes, she does. Ceci Carmichael, thank you so much today.
All righty.
All right.
Thanks so much.
All right. Bye-bye. Well, that'll do it for me today. This has been an experience that I'll never forget. I'm going to try to, but I don't think I will. I'm going to be back the next time a weekday rolls around, which is probably Monday if the calendar is consistent. I'm not sure this is a leap year. I don't know what that means. I don't know if we're not having a Monday. I don't know. I don't know what leap year means. Do we leap over a day or I don't understand. I don't get it. A leap year, I would figure you don't have a lot of days. You have less. You're leaping over a day. But apparently a leap year, you add a day. These people are trying to drive me nuts. Have yourselves a wonderful day. I'll be with you soon again. Until that time, I wish you peace.